I don't know what your guys' morning routine is, but this is my favorite part of the day. Wake up, have some coffee, hang out with the dogs, and just relax. By the way, last week I said I was gonna put these out every other day, and I had some technical difficulties leading up to Friday and wasn't able to put one out, but cheers to being on track. So last week when I put out my Q&A video, there was a lot of questions about riding tips and how you guys can become faster or more sufficient riders, and there were so many questions that I kind of wanted to vaguely touch on it, but then put out another video, which is this video, on some specific riding tips and really help you guys enjoy your track days a little more, and if you're a racer, try to make you guys a little faster. Unfortunately, there's no magic way of just becoming faster, but with a little help and a little guidance, I think I can help you guys with making the most out of your practice days and being really efficient when you show up to the track. So let's get right into it. First of all, my first tip is gear and bike prep. If you watched my first vlog, I did a little tutorial on like how to pack my gear bag or what I have in my gear bag. I think it's really important to pack for two different kind of situations. When you get to the track, if it's cold or if it's hot, or just to have backup stuff. Maybe pack like an extra set of gloves, maybe 2 sets of gloves. If you wash out in practice or your first session or whatever, you want to have an extra set of gloves to throw on so you're not struggling with gripping the bike or anything like that. It just can get dangerous. Also, maybe an extra set of goggles if you have them. Anything that you can do to be kind of overly prepared. Then I end up just leaving my extra stuff in my bag for the next track day. As far as bike setup goes, being a factory rider, I don't work on my own bike a whole lot. I do every now and then, but I've been there. Obviously as an amateur in my first year, I was a rookie. I was a privateer, so the day before, go over the bike, make sure chain's tight, air filter's clean, chain tension is good, just all the main stuff that you can go over to be prepared when you show up to the track, so you're not scrambling to get everything ready before you get on the practice track. I think that's really important, and it'll help you, have more efficient days. Like I said before, I think that's the most important thing, is just getting out there and making the best of your practice days. Tip number 2 is a warm-up. Now that can mean a few things. It could mean stretching. If you have a spin bike, I recommend using it before you leave the house, or I like to use a ski erg. It's made by Concept 2. Gets you a really good warm-up before you leave the house. I think that's really, really crucial. The sport of motocross is so, physically demanding, and you have to be so sharp, and your muscles need to be warmed up. You don't want to show up to the track and the first thing that you're doing is riding. It's really important to start your day off with a good warm-up or a stretch session. It's really good for injury prevention too, which you tip over in a corner and something stupid happens, like you pull a muscle or just something that could have been prevented. If you would have done a little stretching and a little warming up, it would have helped. It's something that I've really tried to be better about, is warming up in the mornings and stretching. Even as a pro, you still struggle with getting up early. It's just tough to fit in a warm-up. But once you do, you'll really realize how much it helps and how much it can really benefit you when you show up to the track. Tip number 3. Now this is probably my most important tip, and probably one that is going to benefit you the most, is having a plan. I can't stress enough to write down your riding schedule. If you're riding 2 or 3 days a week, write it out. Write out, if I'm going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, then have your motos planned out. It can help you so much when, I see a lot of kids show up to the track and they don't really have anything thought out or haven't written it down. And when you write it down, it makes you hold yourself accountable for, your riding lap. Let's say you're a C or a B rider and you show up and you got a race, a month or 2 out, and you don't have a riding plan. Well, if you're doing a 5-lap main, then maybe you need to do some 2-lap sprints or 3-lappers and kind of write that out. Maybe start with 2 2s and then go 3 3s and then finish off with a 5. I don't know. As a professional, obviously I have to train really hard day in and day out. So my riding days and riding schedule is pretty long and well thought out. I have all my laps written down in my notes, and it's pretty long, but it just helps me keep myself accountable, and it's nice knowing that the day before I show up to the track, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna have a long day. I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and I'm gonna knock that out as soon as I can. And then other days I'll, be like, okay, I have a light day. I can kind of like drag it out, and I can kind of, slow things down and really focus on speed and fundamentals and all that kind of stuff. So whatever you guys are comfortable with as far as laps, I'd say stick to it. Write it out. hold yourself accountable, be as prepared as you can be before you show up to the track. I think that's very crucial. And focus on fundamentals. That's huge. You know, don't just focus on doing laps and laps and laps. You know, you're learning endurance and you're learning all that kind of stuff, but you want to focus on fundamentals. You know, where are your elbows at? Where are your hips at? Are you gripping the bike? Where are your eyes? Where are you looking through your turns? And you know, there's so many, you know, variables that go into being a rider. You know, braking, gas, you know, you're thinking so much, and you really want to focus on, you know, breaking that down and having a set plan on how you're going to do that. That's very crucial, and it'll definitely help you guys out. Another thing, a little bonus tip to this one, is timing. Now, I've showed up to the track, you know, you get into your motos, and then you see the water truck filling up, and you're like, shoot, I gotta wait, you know, an extra hour, and it just drags the day out. So pay attention to little stuff like that. You don't want to go out there and do your sprints while it's wet and go down because of that. You know, all this stuff can be prevented if you just pay attention and give everything a little more thought. Tip number 4 has to do with nutrition. If you're going to the track, you're probably going in the mornings, so you want to get in a good breakfast, you want to fuel up. You know, you've probably heard it a million times like I have. You wouldn't put bad gas in a race car. Well, it's super cliche, I know, but it is very important to think that way. You want to get in some good, you know, fuel for the day. Pack lots of water. Obviously, you got to stay hydrated. If you're getting dehydrated, the first thing to go is going to be your brain, and you kind of need that. Definitely want to be on top of that hydration. Make sure you're taking in a lot of water. Another tip is supplements. Now, I've gone through a ton. The best one that I've found so far is, you know, the Rhino Power line. They kind of have everything. Everyone's going to be different. It's going to work for, you know, better for some, worse for some, but fortunately, a lot of companies now are making kind of tasteless supplements, so you get the benefits without, you know, in my instance, you know, I get a lot of stomach aches from if something's too sugary or something like that. Find a supplement that works. Take something before, during, and after. You want to refuel. Rhino Power makes a good like amino acid supplement that I take a lot of after I've, you know, exerted myself. Find something to fuel yourself before, keep yourself hydrated, a little, you know, hydration mix or whatever when you're at the track, and then, like I said, afterwards you want to make sure you're refueling. Definitely an important tip that I can't stress enough is the nutrition side of things. That's something that I've learned a lot of over the past 2 years, and something that I've noticed the most gains from is making sure that I'm putting fuel in my body and refueling my body after. Tip number 5, and our last tip, is have fun. I can't, you know, stress that enough. The reason that we started riding, or the reason that you know, we got into this sport, was because it's fun. It's really fun, and it can get really serious, especially for somebody like me, where, you know, it's my job and I have to perform and all that kind of stuff. And for you guys, it might be, you know, oh, I want to, you know, better myself. I want to do better at the next race, or you know, I'm looking to take that next step or whatever, you know. But you got to go back to the basics, and that's, you know, have fun. Sometimes I get so frustrated at the track. I gotta train, I gotta work, and all this stuff. But whether that means going out trying to throw some whips, hitting a turn that's really fun, or just getting out with your buddies, I think that's really important to implement that into your program. And, you know, whatever that might be, if you're really serious, or if you just do it on the weekends. And I think having fun, keeping it light, you know, maybe one day a week is very vital, and will really just keep your energy up. And that's really important. You know, if you're having fun on the bike, probably gonna go faster on the bike. So kind of goes hand in hand together. My best days on the bike, you know, are when I'm really feeling it and I'm really flowing and having the most fun, just being out at the track with my friends. I'm fortunate enough to ride alongside some of my really good friends. So have fun, keep it light, and keep it simple. All right, guys, those are my 5 tips to becoming a better rider. I hope they help you guys. I hope you guys learn to enjoy them and stick with them. You know, that's the biggest thing, is making sure that you are consistent with your program. So have fun. You know, I'm really enjoying making these videos, so let me know, you know, comment below if you want to see something different. I know I had a lot of training questions, so maybe I'll do one of those down the road. If you're new to the channel, I try to make these every other day, which usually ends up being Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I try and release them around 1 or 2. And subscribe, hit the like button, comment, let me know what you guys think. Have fun, guys. See you later. Aside from my soul, there goes a sight,